So some reminders from last session. Coayah is not in a good place mentally, and considering his general standards, that's saying something. Brackets, battle lust / lost control. Mackie just failed a willpower roll to resist the urge to murder. Really?
One of us.
Oh boy, here I go skinning again.
Father is also in murder mode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, you put him in the childhood trauma situation and subjected him to high emotion and warp winds without warning or training?
Yeah.
That wasn't a good
He saved
idea,
us,
was it?
didn't he?
He did save you, he did.
We're inside some sort of monster, I think, still.
You were inside. Well, he saved you, and then I think you were going to rush off somewhere. And all we know is you weren't there when Haki caught up to you, or caught up to the monster. Nazeem had a run-in with some psychic bullshittery, but didn't befriend it. Was that a reminder because you wanted to remind yourself that you weren't friends with the giant space tick?
Please say yes. Just say yes.
Consider it on your own time. Father called Nazeem and Coatlmox his favoured sons.
He did, yeah.
Evil space ticks discovered. Cozcatl still has a melter bomb. Nazeem wants to use Signy to avoid warp leviathan's stomachs.
Oh, yeah.
And the situation has escalated everywhere, though the Death Guard have at least stopped doing so much high stratospheric bombing. Our timelines are a little bit desynced at the moment, actually, so let's clarify those real quick. So Coatlmox and Nazeem are the furthest back in time, because they're still in the space tick, and we know they're not there because Mackie got there after they left. Mackie is the next closest along. He's some time after they left the tick, but we don't know how far. And
Paul's with me as well, right?
yes, Cozcatl is as well. And then in the furthest future, we have Coayah, who went a little bit kill crazy and was last seen rampaging around with the Death Guard following fairly joyously in his wake, screaming things along the lines of "Burn the Witch."
As I quote, "Death to the Parliament of Witches."
Exactly. So, meanwhile, back on the ship, Kuzco exists at all points in this timeline, just chilling.
Kuzco is omnipresent.
maybe I can make it happen.
Hey, with enough psychic bullshit.
Yes, that's called ascending to become a demon prince.
Oh!
That is not a good idea when you were currently, the Death Guard and me are not in a good mood with anything psychic.
You're also not going to get to become a demon prince. Not without substantial work and luck.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance.
There was
anyone.
always a chance, young Nicholas.
There
was always a chance.
It's an expressly mechanical system. The system is to hit 100 points of corruption, so you become a chaos character, and that resets your corruption count down to baseline 0, but so you're effectively always at 100 corruption, and then we count up to 200, and then you need to hit 100 infamy points before you hit 100 corruption points. And if you hit 100 corruption points before you hit 100 infamy, then you become a chaos spawn.
Oh.
And if you hit 100 infamy before you hit 100 corruption, then you have a shot to become a demon prince. And if you don't, then you become a chaos spawn.
So what I'm hearing here is there's a chance.
It's actually a pretty clear mechanical rule set. And
sorry, I was just voicing Nick's inner thoughts there.
Yeah, no, I would say it's more than just a chance. It's a pretty decent shot.
I mean, there's all the rules for it in Black Crusade, I think.
Yep.
Oh yeah, but that's Black Crusade. I mean, we could steal them, but yeah.
Black Crusade is also...
right?
Sorry?
But we're all good loyalists, right?
Right?
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
And so was Magnus. Right up until that one last bit.
To be fair, I don't think Magnus was ever a good loyalist. I think he was a smug loyalist.
The two are not mutually exclusive.
I mean,
it doesn't seem super loyal to have a bunch of magical ghost tutors following you around.
yeah, but they're fine.
Yeah, it's he's trying to be loyal. He's in many ways
He's just failing.
the radical inquisitor. It's fine when I do it, guys. I can handle it. No, you can't.
I need to use the powers of the warp to destroy the warp.
So, I think in that case we should probably do... I think Nazeem and Coatlmox first. So I believe we left you off with your father rampaging away from you, searching for the thing's brain.
I thought he'd already killed it.
Yeah.
No, he did kill it.
Brain.
It was dead.
Or at least
yeah.
he thinks it's as killed as it's going to be. We know it's not from when... what's his thing he gets there, but it's basically killed.
That was it, because I said lead the way, father. Didn't I? I remember now.
So we'll do a short time skip of a mysterious number of minutes in which your father is fairly convinced he's killed the thing and bursts you out of it. A spray of shell and fleshy chunks. The winds whip and soar, tearing at your skin even through your helmets. You feel your emotions rise, your collar gorging in your throats. It is a good day, isn't it? He breathes deep of the air. I think I'm finally starting to get this whole crusade.
Yeah. Dare.
Just giving concerned looks to Nazeem that I assume are shared.
Yes,
I don't know how
yes.
to proceed here.
Our helmets are doing that cartoony thing where it's like we're both concerned look at each other.
I'm not sure
I'm seeing less of the conspicuous looks and more Ralph Wiggum giggling and going, I'm in danger.
Oh, how do we handle this?
By the way,
You made
someone,
this bed, now you lie in it.
Well, where shall we go next, Father? Towards the city or hunting more beasts?
I feel like the NPC right now.
Choices. Beasts or witches. He eyes up as a drop pod is all but torn in two by a particularly fierce wind, hitting a fractal minor problem in the hull and pulling it apart. Marines go spilling and spiralling out, tossed and bounced upon the wind. Witches.
So I'm afraid our landing wasn't the only poor one, Father. We've lost a lot of Marines in the drop.
He shakes his head. Too many. Far too many. And with a snarl, Father begins bounding away off the street in colossal springing strides. Are either of you wearing Terminator armor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Both of you are immediately outpaced. Not even a roll, I'm afraid.
I believe I still have
track
a...
him, right?
I think
Yeah.
it's going to be hard. I don't think he's exactly in a subtle mood.
He is, at this point, almost naked and covered in gore.
Why is he almost naked? He had armor on.
he
Emphasis on
returned
had.
to his primal state.
Oh, we're going to have to send someone to recover that.
Yes. Drops down
A special-
geo pin number 2. We have 2 geo pins down right now.
Fine, we can get the Magos on it by just pointing out that he's naked.
Yeah.
That's not what she's thirsty for, you realize. God damn it.
It's
We've established
Like,
our Omnissiah representative is a simp.
yeah,
She
like
is.
I just want to clarify. We know exactly why she's into him. We just don't care.
It's. A minor explosion rocks the Price of Defiance in orbit as something just detonates from constrained fury. All I can picture is fucking Kuzco mug of recaf in one hand gently rocked. The recaf all but spills. Ah, fuck.
You say incandescent fury. We know what she's exploding from.
It wasn't her. What are you... If nothing else, she's not angry at you. Okay. Okay. So father is bounding off away up the street. This is a long, wide boulevard. You fancy that on a clear day it probably looks quite nice. As is, it is a storm-racked hellhole. Rubble and bodies flung through the air. Ribbons of gore where things have been ripped apart or hit buildings then kept going, trailing and traipsing like sickening streamers and disgusting flags. Father seems to be heading towards a dip. Certainly some alteration in the local geography. The buildings taper away, and the horizon seems entirely too close. What do?
I like to ping my senescence. I technically keep on doing it. I'm pinging it. I'm like, there's a leviathan we're about to get eaten by.
Okay.
Or something funky going on.
I will take Signy over Perception at a hidden modifier, please.
Okay. Oh, did you see what I posted after last session about
Interesting.
trained and basic?
Oh yeah, ignore that. We've been doing it this way this whole time, so it's like, why would you point that out?
Scroll up a little bit.
Sorry!
Read of that.
Don't worry, you, and you don't need to check it. It's fine.
It doesn't matter, Carl. They'll read it. They'll go, that's how it should have been done this whole time. And then they'll forget the second next session rolls around.
No, we all heard it here first. Let's just repost that for everyone else's benefit.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys.
Regen a fate point for good boy behaviour, yeah, Nicholas.
I'm already on max. I just realised I just haven't added it on the session yet.
Alright, well, in that case, we'll donate the fate point to Coatlmox. It's not fate threshold, but you have one reroll you can keep.
Oh. Does it
That actually makes me very
session, or can I keep it for the rest of my life?
I mean, rest of your life, but you can't burn it.
Yeah. Precious to me, though. Thought I'd never have one again.
It's your emergency reroll.
Well, that's
I'm
what they should-
re-rolling that.
Cowardice.
I should be laughing. I'm with you.
See, the random number god punishes your flagrant betrayal of the group to the DM.
90 to a 99.
I mean, not quite a full-on 100, but
You are
That's
lucky.
what we
This is why the Geist gods are cruel. They give you the slightest hint of hope.
Nick, this is what we call a warning shot.
So, I like you, young Nicholas. Don't stop doing what you're doing.
Stop! Just stop!
Don't listen
I
to
want
them.
to drink my mead. Don't tell me to stop.
Why are you like this? Get some help.
So,
He did
No one
that,
can
he
help
followed
me.
you.
I'm too far gone, Benji.
scenting farther on the wind, trying to train the screams of the fragment of your soul embedded in the outer cracks of his on him. Doing your best not to lose sight of the bounding, nearly naked man, striding up the street, all but sprinting, hurling himself forward. You also let yourself drink deep of the emperine around you, concerned that there may be more of those predators. You
This was
feel
2 degrees of failure.
before hidden modifier.
Yes.
You feel a slight sensation, a nervous paranoia begin to tick away at the edges of your consciousness. And then it's gone. If anything, your senescience feels wan and dead. You'd compare it to the times in your life when you've been anemic, sick from loss of blood. It's not that there's nothing there to sense. It's that your mind is refusing to sense it. What do?
Oh Lord. I'd like to ping off a battle site, please. I'd like to know where enemies are. I don't feel good right now.
Do you have to declare... Oh, that's the one that doesn't need psi rating, right?
No, it does need some rating.
Oh, it does need psi rating.
It's the one that tells me where enemies are nearby. It's page 33.
Yeah, I remember the one.
Yeah.
Bold move to do so when the gods are angry at you.
Yes, I know, right?
Declare psi
we'll go
rating
with,
and cast.
Psi rating 4. We are 5 changes that. If I want to, my thing is going to be 85. Cool. That's a goodie. That's a very good goodie.
Mighty smitey.
That's... Shut up, Benji!
DOS?
That's going to be 4 DOS.
Closing your eyes, calming yourself, and allowing your psychic powers to reach out to the world around you. You channel your being, not merely sensing the world, but actively putting yourself into it. Feeling the areas where there's resistance, like water flowing into a maze to sense where the walls lie. And oh my, that's a lot of walls. You sense cowering civilians in really every direction. You sense more than a few terrified local troopers, some of them fighting something. And those somethings, terrible, hungry Moors, hacking away at the local population. But more than that, you sense perhaps 2, 3 more colossal leviathans, hungry, confused, most of them even quite scared. And as you cast your eyes around, you note that several of the larger buildings in the local area are what your mind is picking up as enemies. Always they have a subtly different architectural style, and very frequently a non-human skull worked somewhere into the facade. You can see that even on the most distant one. Not completely non-human. They still bear the basic hominid shape, but the rear is too long and extended. Like the brain is pushing the roof backwards and up. Father is now out of sight.
The building that we were in earlier was a Leviathan, wasn't it?
Yep. You're still stood outside it, for the record.
Okay, cool.
I would have been walking along this whole time. We haven't started moving yet.
Yeah, let's rush after Father. Is he going towards any of the Leviathans, or is he just kind of...
Nothing that was within your ping range, but remember your ping range is not actually that far.
No, it's not. Let's just follow Father. My thing I pinged off earlier is still going, correct?
Yep.
It's for
last
scene,
for the
so...
scene.
Yeah. So, yeah, I take off after Father, leading Coatlmox.
Okie dokie. Meanwhilst, Mackie, you are sometime in the future. You have just about lost control of yourself to the battle rage. The lust for death and the urge to skin things is welling up from deep within you. And you had just finished murdering this colossal and absolutely disgusting beast for daring to cry at you in a children's voice, which caused you to then mistake it for something that had swallowed a child, in what people pointed out was the ultimate failed gambit from the monster. You, I think, bayoneted it to death with your Reaper autocannon.
Yes, you were very happy.
In a fit of flagrant GM appeasement. Ollie?
Yeah, I'd like to think he went Mugan Ra on it.
Ollie, we can't hear you.
Ollie!
So, honestly, I'd say less bayoneted it to death and more he stood beneath it, stabbed his bayonet into it, and then shot it in half.
No, we described it. It was thoroughly melee. He stabbed the shit out of it. It was an extended sequence.
Oh no, I'm not suggesting it's not melee, but the idea that Macuiltotec would not use his gun, also in melee.
It was a deliberate choice on his part at the time. Ollie, what are we doing?
So I think the reminder was I've lost the willpower roll, right? So
you have. So you've just about lost control.
Okay.
So consider yourself in murder skins mode. We have not portrayed that as an absolute battle frenzy. More think of it. It's not like a 1-to-1 comparison, but I guess think of it as like really hungry vampire. Almost like you don't want to drink blood, but what you want to do is go off and skin things, and you kind of can't stop yourself doing that at the moment. It's your big priority, but you are still in control of your faculties.
Cool. In which case, then I'm looking for the closest witchy-looking tower or area where I can see intense fighting going on, if any. If not, giant monsters.
Terminator's probably got an Auspex on it, right? How far does an Auspex reach in Termisu?
I'm going to guess about 50 meters. That's the rule average.
In terms of the Interceptor special rule, it gives you, it's 18 inches on a tabletop, so at least a fair way. But no, but like we can interpret a fair way, but not like
sorry, I was going to say
far.
I thought you were doing 1-to-1, and I was like, let's not take tabletop as 1-to-1. Sorry.
No, you give it.
I think Ollie was speaking.
They're vague.
Sorry. Terminator does explicitly come with all specs as well, so I can find the rules. So, but yeah.
Sorry, just very different like battle lusts there. Coayah, skins, death, skins, death. Mackie's, I'm going to do a scan of the area, and then I'm going to kill whatever I find.
Can't have rage. If your rage is not directed, then you're just angry.
It's fair. It's commensurate with how we've let everyone roleplay their rage, which is that your rage, you are not a coordinate berserker.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Chris Rock thing, where it's just like, I'm going to save up, I'm going to get me a second job, and then you're a dead man.
Yeah. I like the calm, year-long plan.
Oh, it's bullet control.
I see.
Is the routine.
What was our range then, Ollie?
Sorry, just finding it now in the armory, and then war gear, I suppose. All specs.
We'll probably ping a little bit between these two till we can catch up to you, Benji. That's all right.
That's fine.
I actually can't find the... Oh, okay, all specs. Character using all specs gains a plus 20 bonus to awareness test and may make a tech use test to spot things not normally detectable to human senses. The standard range for an all specs is 50 meters, though walls more than 50 centimeters thick and certain shielding materials can block the scanner. So I want to scan for... Can I scan? I can't scan for psychic stuff with the all specs, but can I scan for...
You can scan for a variety of things. Like you'd be at this point, I don't think you'd be scanning for like, I will find specifically heat signatures. It sounds like you're more in a like do a general sweep for a variety of things, and if you turn up significant activity that your trained user of Allspec's brain would turn up as, oh, this is probably a fight, then you go towards that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I get a plus 20 bonus, so that means I'm just rolling at base then. Because I don't have techies trained.
You can roll it over perception rather than intelligence, if you like.
So it's technically an advanced skill. So does that mean I can't roll it because it's untrained?
Hypothetically, yes, but in practice, I'm going to say you have an Allspecs. You should be able to use the Allspecs.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Of course, it's just 50 or under then. I'm going to re-roll that, I think. Yeah, I make it.
You detect a brace of shapes on the opposite side of the colossal monster, trundling away from you at a decent clip.
Yeah, let's trundle after them at a slightly more decent clip, hopefully.
Yeah, you don't have to venture too much further before they come into visual range. Your autocannon sweeps around and you line up a sight on... Nicholas, give me a D2.
A D2?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh no! I will remind you you're in control of your faculties, Ollie. You line up a sight on... Is that Coatlmox?
Fuck. Brother. What? Where did you...
They're in the distance. You're actually not picking them up over your internal Vox network, even though you are well within range. A brief switch to the loudhailer. Let's take a perception check from either of the two of them, please. Yep.
I was just going to say, although it was out of character reminded by Auspex, I'm a techie guy, so I was going to start Auspexing around for fathers.
Oh, you saw which direction he's going in, and he's thoroughly outpaced the range of your Auspex at this point. He's not even in visual range anymore.
Okay. I'm kind of tracking him. I'm leading the way.
Yeah, he's a 12-foot tall mountain of muscle smashing things as he goes. I don't think it's hard to track him.
Do we get enhanced eye things?
It wouldn't be eye, it would be your audible senses. That said, I think that also applies, so yeah, you still get all the bonuses. So I think it's sensory input, so you wouldn't get it for, say, taste, but you do get it for sight and hearing at the very least. Arguably smell, if I'm honest.
Oh, okay.
If it's heightened senses plus 10 to sight and sound tests.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So that'll be 2 successos for me.
2 successos. Yeah, so you hear just faintly over the sound of the storm. What does he hear, Mackie?
Is this some apparition? Or are you here? Brothers!
The voice of the demon that tormented you within the structure, coming from behind you, borne over the winds as a slight, faint, howling sound.
We both hear it, do we?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, we'll say both of you. God damn it.
Do I have our friend of foe tags activated yet? Can I see? Are they coming up in a heads-up display or anything?
Yeah, we'll say you've seen them on your heads-up display, though that is probably also slightly sketchy with all the warp energy.
Yeah. Okay. So and even more importantly,
sorry, you cut out there, Ollie.
That's me.
Can you still hear me?
We can now, yeah.
Okay. It's fine. I was just saying, I don't recognize, so I don't know 100% if they're Nazeem and Kuzco. Kuzco?
No, you'd recognize their armor for sure.
Yeah.
If nothing else, Coatlmox is painted a different color than everyone else.
True, yes, that's true.
Did I hear Mackie as well, or did I hear someone else?
We'll say both of you heard it.
And what do we hear? Do we hear identifiably as Mackie?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he also sounds pissed off and angry in a way that Mackie generally isn't in your experience, other than weird apparition Mackie that you heard within the Leviathan.
I'll ponder for a moment, sigh, and then turn on my comms.
Nothing but static and the distant laughter of unearthly children.
I'll turn off my comms again.
You can't actually even hear Nazeem next to you.
Can I ping Science to see if it's because it's a psychic-y thing doing the voicey thing again? That'll that's what that is. But if it's not, then I should be able to
ping Senescience with a hidden modifier.
Hopefully it's better than last time. That is better than last time.
You hope?
Yeah, I hope it's better than last time. So that's going to be that's going to be 3 DOS.
3 DOS.
Hopefully that's at least 1 DOS.
You feel psychic energy coming from behind you, an overwhelming malevolent presence. There is, however, also an overwhelming malevolent presence coming from directly in front of you, and other ones from the sides.
Not going to risk it. Brother, shall we continue? I'm not sure if that was...
Can I just have a good look around, see if I can spot Mackie anyway?
So,
the voice.
How this plays out from Mackie's perspective. Mackie, you scream out into the storm at them. The two of them don't turn around, and they turn very slightly towards each other, heads bobbing up and down as they begin to discuss something in a, I guess, very red versus blue fashion. Then they go to move away from you, completely ignoring you, and then at the last moment, Coatlmox stops, turns around, and your eyeglass lenses lock.
You should be able to see the pauldron of the lithogolem on. The lithogolem head attached to one of my pauldrons.
Your armor has a variety of
discerning marks about it.
Thank you. Yes, discerning marks. Though the lithogolem is certainly probably the most prominent.
I'll shout over. Brother Chapter Master, is that you?
Legion. You can just about hear him through the storm, Wacky.
It is I.
We're tracking father. We're trying to track father.
He seems to be in a bit of a rage.
I mean, as am I.
Oh.
No, at that he punctuates it by throwing his arms up towards the sky and howling, jittery with the desire for death.
Let's hunt some witches.
Just to check in here, Cozcatl, how closely are you aping your legionmaster behind this?
I'm like.
Imagine you doing a tiny little, smaller woo. But
it's what I was picturing, but I also don't know if he's still feeling a little bit disconcerted by the whole affair.
Partially, it's one of those things where it's just trying to find a way of putting it. There's a fucking term for it, but basically, I'm just trying to keep up with him, and at this point, he's the commanding officer. If I don't go, I'm going to die, probably. So,
in for a penny, in for a pound.
So you're it sounds less in for a penny, in for a pound, and more like you're keeping up with him, and maybe even still doing the woo, but it's kind of half-hearted. Your illusions are in the process of shattering around you, but you're in too deep, even though you don't want to be.
Much closer, yeah.
Whereas in for a penny, in for a pound would feel very much well, screwed anyway, may as well get debauched, as opposed to this is Cozcatl's moment of sobriety. In other words, you broke the adoring fan.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Subconsciously, at least, there's still going to be, I'm going to say some manifestation.
As long as there is...
Sorry, Ollie. Ollie?
Our commanding officer cannot hear us. Great. Both of our commanding officers are in skins mode.
I heard that, you fuck.
No, you didn't!
I'm really glad the storm has come in at the exact moment that Ollie's internet decides to get a little bit dodgy. Just anytime we can't hear him, act as though a storm wind has cut him off. This is all diegetic.
Oh dear.
Well, I suppose it doesn't really change much, does it? Father's probably just going wherever he wants to go anyway.
Yes. Well, it's the finding him later on. If he's in skins mode.
Yes,
although he does need to go in towards...
Calm father. Maybe there'll be enough skins to satiate him. Maybe not.
I just raised my hand.
There's barely enough skins to satiate the murder. I doubt he's going to be satiated.
Brothers, I am coming to you. Wait there. We shall press on ahead together.
What's that? We should go ahead?
No.
Of course, brother Captain.
Okay,
Master.
brother! We shall push on ahead!
This whole sequence continues on for several minutes of miscommunication, stop-start walking, and Cozcatl at the back the entire time with his arm raised, and everyone thoroughly ignoring him.
Remind me to ask our tech priest to start by having
kill
switches in people's armor so I can bring them to me.
I slowly lower my arm.
Unfortunately,
always want to kill switch.
Unfortunately, not doable in the armor.
That's the possibilities.
Technically, you would have access to their armor command, Kurt.
I feel like I would.
Power armor is made to be usable when someone is, even when it's lost power, and on top of that, it is plugged directly into their black carapace and their own implants. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it is extremely not likely to be something someone would take the time and effort to set up, especially on multiple people, without immense effort, and especially without them knowing.
I think the armor has a... Oh, sorry.
I'm saying, I feel like Tech Marine has some power to stop that as well, right?
Yeah, and also that...
If agrees with me, we can just veto anything tech-related, right?
like for sure, the Techmarine and your Magus Adjutant are kind of not totally opposed, but think of them as checks and balances on each other. It is difficult to do something that one of them hears of without the other one finding out. And this isn't really even a refutation to you, Ollie, because you said a thing in jest. This is a refutation to Benji of no kill switches in power armor. You can put kill switches on cybernetic limbs. I'm okay with that, but not in power armor. Or at least
canon.
Or on limbs or power armor.
Power armor.
Where are you finding that?
Azrael does it in one of the Dark Angels books.
Let's...
4th edition.
One, Black Library is not canon, as well you know. Or at least not Ironclad canon. And 2, no one reads Dark Angels books. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it.
Hey, I do!
No one reads Dark Angels books. And I know I've read many Dark Angels books.
I'm a full pace on this kill switch issue.
Paul's a real person. How dare you imply he's not?
No, we've called Pace.
Nice.
So, after that riveting section, you've all just about caught up. Cozcatl has put his arm down in a fit of mild dismay at realizing that his heroes have superhuman flaws, just like everyone else.
When he puts it down, I'll ask him, why was your arm raised?
I was wondering where potentially Father Primarch gained his lust for skins being on a sea world.
It's called a bed and we've made it.
Well, to be honest, I think that our father, we probably got it from him somehow.
Okay.
Just because it's scaly and slimy doesn't mean it's not a skin.
Not everyone goes for it, though.
Absolutely here for Mackie's battle rage mode just being unrelentingly brutal and vaguely bitchy.
Wow. Ollie, when did you join the Iron Warriors?
Oh god.
The moment I became Legion Commander.
The Legion Commander's an incel. Run, boys! Oh, no, Mackie's...
You drove me to it.
You all did this to him. He was a good boy.
The Legion Commander subs to Andrew Tate on Spotify.
Oh god, no.
Oh Christ. Okay. So the 4 of you have been trudging along down the road after your renegade Primarch.
We can see which direction he's taken.
He was going in a straight line towards the point where the horizon falls off.
Then we should also go in a straight line towards the point where the horizon falls off.
You have not been going for too far at all when all of you feel something. Even through the storm, a deep, rumbling terror from below. Like something shaking itself. Loose, awake, clear of dirt. Who's to say? And beneath that, a sudden, undeniable, emotional surge of hunger.
I just thought the other things were called lice, right?
Yeah. I'd like to pop... Can I pop probability shield, please?
Can I put out the sheer emotion of unrelenting, pissed off rage, just out into the aether?
Oh yeah, you are currently murder frenzied, or murder enraged. No fear checks for you. You're fine.
I just kind of wonder, like, whatever is causing this emotion, I wanted to know that it's not made me scared, it's just made me more angry.
You know what, I'll let you roll willpower with a plus 20, let's see.
Cool. That is going to be 50 or under. I'm going to re-roll that, because I think it would be really funny. Yeah, I made that. I'm on 0 willpower now. Oh, 0 fate points, rather.
You're here to command Marines and rip skin, and you're all out of Marines.
Oh, God.
Meanwhile, in orbit, over Oriatrith, Kuzco, you have a mug of recaf in one hand, and some missives from the battle below that you're pretending to read in the other. You're on the bridge, as you are required to be, by protocols you disagree with that rank you as next in command. But you at this point have established a fairly long-running procedure, which is to say, you are in command, and your first command is not to bother you.
It's like you know me so well that you read my mind.
And that means we have... I've got this written down. Left hand. is therefore handling all, if anyone says it, I will kill them, is therefore dealing with, or I will murder you, is therefore dealing with all of the business that you would usually be required to.
It's because it's Carl's related.
Is it rhythmic? Is it proceeding at a rate that could be described as coming, then going, then coming, then going?
When?
Is it like breaststroke? Is it popping up and down?
If you would stop for just one moment. When your eyes cast up from the sheaf of papers you very deliberately were not reading, Kuzco, up to the world arrayed before you. You're in ultra-high orbit. High orbit? Distant orbit. There we go. Above the capital city, the drop site where Father and the rest of the command crew have, at last check, gone down. But you're fairly sure they'll be all right. Or failing that Left Hand will do an admirable job in his new role as surrogate legionmaster.
Really just cranking out that ability.
I gotta get you most.
You see something, a flicker of movement beneath the storms. Focusing superhuman eyes, you narrow in on it. With a slight hand gesture, have a servitor bring you a set of magnoculars. You can see down there on the planet, even from this far in orbit, something massive and serpentine, pulling itself loose from the shaking city beneath you.
I hope you know what you've done with this whole adventure, right?
New pet?
You've made the creepy incel right.
What do, Kuzco?
Could I focus or order Left Hand to get someone to focus all communication arrays to the locations of the command crew? Do my best in an attempt to communicate with them.
Yeah, you know what? Let's, various difficulties involved. Let's just call it an odds and evens. Let me get the thing up. Okay. Call me odds or evens.
Evens.
Evens it is. The command crew, as you are trotting down the road, all of you hear something over the Vox. A blast from high orbit as the ship above you taps into your Vox channels, punching through the static and the other issues caused by the strange empyrean energies emanating from the warlocks of this world. Carl, what message do you pass? And I'm going to ask you to add your own static breaks where you don't quite get through.
Okay. Giant Coat is going to be warned. It's fun.
Huh? The ground's still shaking here.
The ground is still shaking, and you just received...
Can I put out a repeating just message to anywhere that can hear asking for evac ships?
Yeah. Unfortunately, as you may recall, the person stood immediately next to you was difficult to hear over the Vox mere seconds ago.
Yeah, I'll leave it running in case someone catches it there.
By the way, I was just fucking with the mute button on my headset. I don't know how much of that actually came through.
Oh no, it was perfect.
I just please tell me that. Sorry, young Nicholas.
It was just giant thing. Be careful is basically what we got out of it.
Also, have fun.
Yeah, was the have fun in? Was that in character or?
Yeah, I thought I'd finished at that point. I guess I didn't take my finger off the button.
The ground
he doesn't usually message us, so this is probably bad.
Shaking and subsiding.
I completely agree, brother.
When all four of you see it more or less simultaneously, something sliding behind the silhouettes of the buildings surrounding you, something colossal, something worm-like, crawling on uneven, roughly angled limbs.
Brothers, where is your hunger for the enemy that lies before us?
I suppose I was seeking glory, wasn't I?
Yeah, you're about to get some whether you like it or not.
Well, it's not as big as a planet. How hard can it be? Let's go!
I want to fix you with a devastating eyebrow.
Like, I'm just going to take the moment because, like, I feel Cozcatl's really gone through a bit of a roller coaster here, from, like, you know, standard idolizing command crew to seeing that, God, these guys are actually real fucked up.
Yeah.
To, you know what? Like, that is a can-do attitude. Like, we got, like, some kind of fucking kaiju thing here. Like, I mean, fuck it, we're Marines, let's fucking kill it!
I was also considering this, and I'm going to give you the same deal we gave Cread. That is going to be one free reroll that's not a fate threshold for Cozcatl.
Thank you very much.
Glad to hear my inspiring words are inspiring rerolls. I think that's a good thing.
And with that, it sounds like the legionmaster leads you into a charge against the monstrosity.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
As close to a light jog so I can get in Terminator armor.
Yeah.
Follow.
All moving at about 10 miles an hour.
Is everyone appreciating the benefits of artificer armor now?
Terminator for life.
Always
I'm sorry.
Terminator.
I thought I wanted soak.
Question. Is it the straight up weight of the Terminator, or is it a physical limitation of the Terminator armor that we can't run?
It's kind of both.
Oh, okay, fine.
It's very big, and it takes a lot of power to move very big.
It's not It's not actually designed for military use.
Yeah.
It's reactor armor.
It used to be, wasn't it like loading bays or some shit like that?
Like the old explanation they used to give was that it was the armor. It was designed for working in deep space, so if you get hit by like a micro meteorite, it doesn't immediately kill you. It doesn't actually bear up to that spec, even vaguely. But that was what they used to give it as the explanation. There's also an argument to say that, well, maybe it was proof of that, and this is the ultra-degraded version.
I see.
But yeah,
like how Bane Blades used to be the most common and one of the smallest tanks or something like that,
yeah,
right?
they used to be a standard line main battle tank. It's like, no, they used to be a scouting tank.
Yeah.
I was just curious if I augmented my strength enough with psychic power, if I could speed myself up a little bit.
I am sorry, but no, it is a restriction on Terminator armor. The trade-off is that you are excellent, but you have essentially...
Is there a psychic flight ability? Can you just levitate yourself?
I'm going to have a hunt.
Yes.
Wait. Actually, the two under my Might of Heroes, it says Wings of Sanguinius.
Doesn't work in Terminator armor.
Sprouts a pair of blood red wings of psychic energy.
I can't think that it would.
That'd be a fun way to reveal yourself as a psychic. You just burst wings and fly off.
So to finish the sentence, red wings of psychic energy.
You said that psychic energy would still be visible in this context.
Oh yes, no, it would out me 100%. But I get the flyer trait.
But also
reveal.
Have this.
With a movement equal to my psi rating.
Shall we say reveal rather than out? Because I was listening back to the whole Magnus episode, and it actually got slightly uncomfortable.
I mean, I suppose on the context used, but I do also while also agreeing with that, we would shoot the shit out of Nick, right?
Yeah, I imagine so.
Oh yeah,
which is one of the reasons we should maybe say reveal rather than out.
Yeah, because those connotations, you know,
exactly. Is you're conflating two very unrelated subjects here, Nicholas? Shall we say? I know you're not doing it deliberately, and I know we've all done it. So let's walk that one back.
I'm gonna say, Nick, don't sprout the blood red wings.
Yeah, probably.
I don't have that ability right now, but I'm saying for future uses. I could learn it.
Yes, you could apply psychic wings to Terminator armor. That would have other consequences, I feel, is the answer there.
I'm assuming this is counting as a suicidal situation, so I'd like to think my armor is getting a plus 10.
You know what? Entirely fair. Yes, your ever-depressed armor, Marvin, the paranoid Terminator armor, is incredibly... Which was always weird, because he wasn't paranoid. Is... incredibly into the situation. Yes, charge the demonic multi-limbed worm beast.
I have a quick question about the ship's munitions.
Mm-hmm.
With the weapons we have available, like, I know one of the things is my accuracy ain't great, but I'm also talking about size of weapon. I'm entirely sure the relative calibers of what we've got to hand.
Generally, even a relatively small macro cannon shell has a devastation range of, if you're really lucky, between 2 and 5 kilometers. That is like sniper tier marksmanship. They tend to be much higher.
Okay, cool. Never mind then.
Yeah. I will say the same thing I always say when pointing out Rogue Trader's orbital bombardment rules, which is you don't roll to see whether you kill something, you roll to see how much of something you kill.
I mean, yeah, that's why I was clarifying more, like, the size of munition that we were actually using, because I didn't want to...
Absolutely valid, yeah. It's kind of like how a pistol doesn't have a mode where you can just, like, let the bullet kind of drop out of the gun so that you give someone a warning shot. No, it's fired this close to a planet, even the smallest munitions are still, because they're made to be shot across the void, you're gonna do a
small meteorite sized.
Yeah, absolutely, but they're also going to have a big impact.
Exactly. You don't even need explosives to that point. You just need the kinetic energy itself. Which
for sure. That's why they're generally not too large, and why they're often just slugs rather than explosive or anything. Because,
to be fair, now that I'm thinking about it, we could just drop something and use the world's own gravity to pull it towards it.
I see. You've also come across Project Thor / kinetic bombardment weaponry.
Yeah.
You're just going to drop shit on it from space.
Yeah.
Let's launch out the Bane Blades. See what happens.
Reinforcements!
It'd be kind of bad. They're not particularly dense. You need a lot of weight.
Yeah, the smart play would be to just grab the regular munitions and drop them from space instead of firing them from space.
Oh yeah, but at the same time, I want to be able to say that I threw a tank at something from space.
Should we call pace on this?
Okay, let's call pace. So,
throw the fire.
From Coayah's perspective, Coayah, you've just about come out of your murder frenzy. You've been fighting with the Death Guard now for Christ knows how long. Araman is long gone. You've seen neither hide nor hair of the rest of your legion, no sign of Magnus, no sign of Father, no sign of the rest of the command squad. All you know is many of the witch towers are down, and though the sniper tornadoes have just about eased off, as have the drop pods, the storm is still relentlessly whipped up. As you come back to relative senses, though still pissed off and positively drenched in skins, your eyes snap up and you see something pull itself up from the ground on 3 colossal, arched, overly thin, grasping limbs. Its skin is smooth, yet cracked, like an eel with mighty fissures carved across its hide. And its face is missing. In its place is just a single maw with large, flaccid flaps of skin, all of them lined with what appear to be colossal fangs. It's pulling itself free from under the city. You can feel the tremors overcoming the settlement as the thing lurches free of its bindings. But most of all you can see, attached to the outside of one of the limbs, the distant figure of a tall, heavily muscled, almost naked man, slowly clambering up the limb.
Like hell is that fool going to beat me?
Near
Weapons out. I charge.
Near my death guard. What? Follow the Quarreler brothers! Shrieks the death guard, raising his chainsword high. A mighty cheer goes up behind you. Ah, the skinned one! So you're charging the kaiju.
Did you just say a warg?
No, I said, like hell, is that fool going to beat me?
No, did you say a warg?
I don't know what you're talking about. I blame Joe. Do you know what our Wi-Fi is called since we moved into the new place?
Gork and Walk?
Close, but no cigar. No, it's the Warg-Fi.
The Warg-Fi.
I was going to suggest the Orc-Fu.
A good one is, what is it? The Weird Warg.
Weird Warg, what are we? Goddamn Orcs fans.
Orcs are fucking amazing, mate.
Of course. So, you are also charging the kaiju. Okay, kaiju squad. What are our...
Everyone is.
I mean, so far Kuzco's in orbit, wondering if he can, empty the kitchen sink on its head and sipping his recaf tenderly.
Yeah.
Whilst furiously and concentratedly delegating. People keep handing him sheafs of paper, he keeps pretending to read them, then handing them to his dedicated shredding servitor. This is not his first time remaining on the ship.
I do love everyone's reaction though is giant thing, probably kill everything. Okay, let's go kill it then.
So, various charging peoples. What are our plans?
Motor bomb.
A started chain fist augmented with psychic powers.
Look for its brain, try and cut my way in with its paragon blades and stab.
It's going teeth in
But more importantly, do it before the Primarch does it.
It's a race.
It does sound like a race.
Wacky races. We're all going to die.
Sorry, what's this we? Some of us have fate to burn.
Oh!
Okay. It's a race. What's everyone's strategy for getting... Oh god, what was that?
Oh, that was me. Sorry, I just unmuted while some wind was going past.
Oh, fair.
I was going to say, I guess I'm leading the charge, so I'm furthest. Yep. I'm closest to it, right? So...
Yep, sure, why not?
Is any of its body lying flat that I can climb up onto?
If you imagine... Do you know what a mud skipper looks like?
Yes.
So if you... you know what, I'll put one in Discord for everyone else.
Thank you.
So if you imagine a mud skipper, perhaps sans fin, so like a long, thin body, and then rather than the flippers along the side, picture sort of arched, too thin, stick limbs, almost like the thing was starving.
I'm getting a no-face feel here.
And as mentioned, yes, it does not have a face. Instead, it has more or less cut the cylinder where the face would be off and replace that with two fang-lined flaps of skin. It is dragging itself at speed along the ground as it hauls itself out of its crevice. More and more and more of the body coming loose.
Does this motherfucker feel my rage? I won my willpower.
It is far too large to feel your rage. That said, you are far too enraged to feel anything but your rage, and its relative largeness doesn't matter. You are at peak short king right now.
Oh, then let's do like a short king and start biting at his ankles.
So you're gonna rush up as close as you can and see if you can cut a fucking paw off.
I want to try and cut it down to size. So you said it's got those two front limbs, right? I'm going to, try and
I think we described it as 5 or 7, so it's
okay.
Lots and lots and lots of these little things. That said, you can start with one, and if that goes well, see if you can cut up a bunch more. How many limbs do you, or how many limb-ending graspers do you really need to cut off something before it starts to have issues? I would have trouble if someone cut off a foot, and I think most other animals would as well.
Yeah, I'm going to aim further up the joints, around maybe the shoulder base if it has one of those.
That's fine. Then you will need to haul yourself up the limbs.
Oh, okay. In which case,
as mentioned, it's kaiju sized. So think of it as 6-7 stories tall.
Can I haul myself up in Terminator armor though?
Probably yes. Terminator armor can scale things. It's just not gamely at it. You might have some difficulties, but I'd be willing to let you try.
I think I'm just going to shoot at it from the ground for now.
Go beneath it and try and shoot it in half.
It's also going to be a couple of stories wide.
You know what then? No. I'm going to scale it.
Okay, so you're rushing up to the thing, and though you might usually be worried about it outrunning you, fortunately, no matter how far away it seems to get, it doesn't seem to be running out of itself, its own bulk, to pull loose from the planet's core. What is everyone's strategy for reaching it? So that's you guys and also Coayah.
I'll look out for any drop pods around that might have remaining thrusters left to try and shoot myself into it, if possible.
Interesting.
If not, I'm going to go for the mouth.
Okie dokie. Everyone else?
I've got 2 swords. They're Paragon blades. I'm going to try and climb up like they're ice spikes.
Okay, so you're just going to run towards it and then... Okay. Everyone else? You can also glom on to whatever Ollie's doing if you're content following him, but it's if you want to outpace him.
I like Coatlmox's idea of the thrusters, actually. I feel like that's going to get us there even faster.
Okay, so you split off to go with Coatlmox. Cozcatl.
Wait, that's the thruster idea? Is it going to get us to the head?
Well, you're ahead of us. I think we were departing from behind you to try to find a drop pod with thrusters to just fire ourselves at it.
And if there's only room for one, you're staying behind.
A drop pod can accommodate 2 Terminators, to be fair. Cozcatl?
I'm going to look for the most likely path that it will go along and then go up a building to roughly mouth height, preferably one as the roof, to prepare to lob a melter bomb in it.
Okie dokie. I will take a... It's probably a little bit big for one melter bomb for the record, unless you can find a vital part within it. The melter bomb only has a radius of about 1 meter. They're for blowing into things or blowing up specific things rather than massive destruction within an area. That's more of a plasma bomb thing.
Oh yeah, no, I was just hoping it would kind of melt through it, sort of thing,
I mean, it probably will. It sounded like you were going to try and huck it into its mouth or something, though, as opposed to blowing a hole in to get inside it.
I mean, yeah, I figured its mouth's already open. Hopefully hit something vulnerable. Major blood vessels or the equivalent of whatever this Xenos species is.
Cool, come with me, Carl. Get up on the Hydra's back.
God damn it.
Well, I suppose I could. Alright then.
Okay.
Fine.
So, I will take then, I think, that's going to be a weapon skill from Mackie, a weapon skill from Coayah, an agility test from Cozcatl, and I guess a tech use test from Coatlmox with Nazeem piggybacking as you find a conveniently placed drop pod and rapidly reposition it as best you can.
So, I have a quick question. So I get a +10 for this being a standard attack. Can I get another +10 because suicidal armor? I'm
not going to count this as a standard attack, but the suicidal armor absolutely counts. In fact, I'm going to say this is extremely suicidal, even by the standards. So I'm going to make that a +15. Your armor's really into this.
Can you still hear me, by the way?
Test?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes, you can.
Okay. So, can I get another +10 from my sight, my heightened senses, to figure out the best route to take?
I'm kind of... Because it's competitive, and wouldn't you all get that?
Yeah.
Feels a little bit... Isn't that, effectively nullifying itself if everyone gets it?
Well, I'm at a +40 or under. Sorry, a 40 or under, rather, so... We do not have a very high weapon skill, is the problem.
I'm going to say no, just on the fact that this is difficult and the heightened senses should be part of what's letting you do it at all. Oh no.
You shouldn't have spent that willpower.
What was the characteristic test, sorry?
For you, it was a weapon skill.
Excellent. Am I still technically in my battle rage, or am I out of it now?
You've just come out of it.
Damn, Carl.
No,
Fucking
my bonuses!
Can I... If I'm assisting, Cread, Can I use fate to augment his roll?
You cannot, I'm afraid. He has to roll.
Damn it.
That is path, thank God.
All Omni Fire Axes come with a trusty Cumby tool, right?
I think they do, yeah.
So that's a +10, right, for the tech use?
Sure, why not?
Neato.
Pretty much just realised what I should have done, which I'll do next turn if I'm not squished.
2 successes.
But if you are squished, imagine the credit you'll get forever.
Yeah, by a giant lizard.
Well, I mean, because you can burn a fate on that, but also, like, even burning a fate on that, like, fucking hell, that time you got squished by a giant demon newt.
It's a demon?
Not that type of demon, but also maybe, I guess. You're on a psychic witch planet, what do you know?
Clearly not a lot.
We live in the time before demons, Nick. You know shit.
I know, right?
Is this a tutor?
Magnus just on its outside going, guys, I found a friend! No. Okay, so I'm seeing 3 DOS on a 2 from Cozcatl. I'm seeing 4 DOF on a 93 from Wacky. I'm seeing 2 DOS from... Wait, no, I'm not seeing 2 DOS. What was your DOS there, Benji?
Flat pass.
Oh,
So
and
just
what?
past it.
So 1 DOS from Coayah.
So I think I'm on.
Okay, so by far and away, our greatest winner is the NPC.
Oh, sorry. What? Yeah, 1. Just still 1.
As Cozcatl takes a speedy stock of the situation, looking around, looking and finding a nearby building that's starting to list that looks like it should be just about in the path of the Leviathan monster, the true Leviathan monster. And, wearing his handy-dandy, absolutely bog-standard power armor, begins belting it for the building. Even his superhuman hearts beating fast, energy surging through his being as he rushes up, covering the distance in what feels like no time at all, combat stimulants flooding his system, chasing up the side of the building. And then, at just about the moment that the massive, horrifying construct begins to haul past it, throwing himself off it, and... I mean, you got a 2, Carl, so your choice. You can either ride the top of it, or you can go straight down the mouth.
I can't, no, I'm going to ride it, but I just want to say that I really do want to just go straight down the mouth. I get down there, it's just hit out. I'm not going to do that, because I want to make sure this character lives.
I wonder if Nick will regret coming with me.
No, that's really fun. I'm planning on, as soon as we hit that thing, just burrowing straight into it with my fucking chain fist.
Fortunately enough for you, not only is the chain fist a solid backup plan for that, but as you may recall, the legions are currently using dreadclaws, which are... I think drop pods also have this. Well, no, not planetary drop pods. Oh, yeah. You're using a dreadclaw, basically, which means it has breaching charges.
Oh, excellent.
I was under the impression you both knew that when you came up with this plan.
I was going to try and backburn it on the come-in. That was my only plan.
No, I was going straight for it, just like hitting it and burrowing straight fucking into it. Like, you know, like worms and like the digging stuff. Just like a worm going straight into the side of it. And just taking bits out.
Great minds think alike. I was going to do that with my minigun.
An autocannon is not a minigun. You are thinking of an assault cannon. An autocannon is a beautiful, long, twin-barreled nightmare monster with a bayonet on the end that is inexplicably useless and yet somehow fearsome.
So, I've done this with ships before. I'm assuming I can do it with a giant creature.
I'm such a Reaper autocannon fanboy. They're so good.
You don't have a Reaper autocannon. I said it's a minigun.
They are not miniguns.
How many said it was?
You just did.
That's the assault cannon. Assault cannon go Bert, autocannon go bang.
Hold a sec, Ollie. So this is a Reaper autocannon. Is what they look like.
I saw Nick's image first, and that really threw me.
Fair enough. But this is a Reaper autocannon. They're beautiful, and so many of the old models used to come with like fucking swaying skull trophies that came off the bottom, and it was the dumbest thing because like, why would you do that? That's just going to throw you. Oh, that's so. I love them.
That's what I have right now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I kept thinking the red helmet was his head.
Oh. Sorry, I'm such a fucking fanboy for these things. They're so good. I love the fact that it's got a goddamn assault cannon drum for no reason.
Looking at it, I just like like artillery.
Oh, funny you should say
like
that.
They fire backwards, sort of thing, as they fire in alternating.
No, so they are twin linked, so they both fire at the same time, but the difference is an assault cannon, they have much higher AP, and they're also better anti-infantry. An auto cannon in this context, I mean, auto cannons generally tend to be higher strength, not necessarily higher AP, and they have way less volume of shots. So, an assault cannon will struggle to take out a tank under most circumstances, but...
An auto cannon is an anti-tank rifle, and assault cannon is a minigun. That's all we need to do. Pace.
Only someone who's very uncreative would ever describe an autocannon as not anti-infantry. You and I, sir, have very different uses of autocannons.
I'm doing this so we can get on with it. Not have you fanboy out about fucking gun.
I'm with Benji's pace.
Okay, well, we will respect the pace, but I do have other opinions about the Reaper autocannon. If you'd all listen to my podcast...
Tune in on Thursdays.
So...
Oh yeah.
Cozcatl flings himself off the building and impacts the rough, slimy exterior of the beast, rolling, juddering before a power-armored gauntlet manages to catch on something hard, a fragment of shell that has calcified ever so slightly, and pull him clear. Cozcatl, you are now prone, riding the eel monster. Next up, on 2 degrees of success, Coatlmox. You had located a handy-dandy, relatively crashed, nearby dreadclaw, whose machine spirit had been trying to pull itself free of some wreckage for quite an amount of time. A speedy conversation via your... God, I forgot what the name of it is, but your data jack, essentially.
MIU?
MIU, thank you. A speedy conversation via your MIU later. Is MIU weapons only? Is there a different one for non-weapons?
No, there's a weapons MIU and there's a standard MIU.
Thank you. Yes, so via your standard non-weapons MIU with the Dreadclaw later, and it has voiced its unerring support for Operation Torpedo into the Monster Beast, flexing its landing claws maliciously.
Excellent.
Leave the doors open.
Using Nazeem for manual labour whilst you perform some incredibly speedy repairs, or at least as much repairs as you need to, you prepare the Dreadclaw and aim it for roughly where you think this will work. You will either be able to board the eel monster, or...
I have Forbidden Law Xenos. Can I try to pinpoint its weak point and torpedo us towards it?
Please don't hit me.
I'm going to say no on the assumption that, one, it has a weak point, and two, that I don't think your Forbidden Law Xenos covers this specific thing.
It covers, like, Xenos anatomy.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to apply it. I'm a very well-learnt man. Fair enough, it might not have a weak point.
It is a valid ask, but especially in light of the fact that these results are already rolled, I'm going to say no.
I'm going to imagine like Nick's character in his bedroom crashing tiny drop pods into millipedes and being like, I knew this was how it worked.
I thought we were going to do another roll, but okay, the rolls have been done, that's fine.
I'm so sorry, the phrase crashing tiny drop pods into millipedes fucking slays me. So, 2 to 3 minutes of the... Sorry, I keep echoing on someone. 2 to 3 minutes of the hastiest repair-ish patch job that you have done in your entire career follow Coatlmox before you pile yourself into the Dreadclaw, pull Nazeem in after you, and are then catapulted at an incredible speed across the city limits. There is just about enough time for the dreadclaw to manage to flip itself over mid-flight, claws open like a blasted, grasping hand. And then you feel the impact. Neither of you were even vaguely strapped in. Both of you are flung bodily against the floor of the dreadclaw as it spears into the eel monster. You can hear the machine rusting and screaming, clearly in immense pain, but also with righteous indignation, with strong secular emotion, indignation, and fury.
I'll be giving it a lot of praise as well.
You're muttering out prayers and bursts of binaric cant as best you can manage without the relevant implants.
Skins and die for it.
You hear the distinctive, sublimating hiss of matter becoming burning hot gas as the dreadclaw activates its breaching charges and punctures you inside. Pushed up against the floor as you were, and with not a small amount of shaking, the two of you all but immediately tumble inside the eel monster. Is it weird that I'm really craving sushi right now?
Yes.
A little bit, but we're not judging.
Okay.
We're judging a little bit.
No, now that he said it, now I am.
Yeah, right? I could do with eel. Tumble inside the sushi monster. God damn it! The eel monster.
Now I'm just imagining it as like an eel-shaped Cookie Monster puppet.
Oh no! Oh dear. Tumble inside. I'll cut this, it'll be fun. Tumble inside the eel monster. You are lodged in the beast's guts. Next up on one DOS, we have Coayah. Coayah, you can see that the beast is heading vaguely in your direction, but not directly at you. You disagree with that last part, and with your Death Guard bodyguards Death Guard followers in tow, charge straight at the monster. Screaming your fury at the heavens, unwilling to let your, at least in your private thoughts, absolute failure of a father. Hold on a second, just one moment. There we go. Absolute failure of a father. Is he not coming back? Huh.
He doesn't deserve to come back with what he's
I'm
done
used
there.
to Ollie's lightning reflexes, where you put him in the wanker's corner and he's back inside of 3 seconds.
I was wondering, like, do I have to wait?
You rush towards the monstrosity, Paragon blades in hand, and seeing its disgusting, gently flapping, overtly flaccid flaps of tooth-lined skin covering the beast's razor-fanged maw. Would you prefer the outside or the inside?
What?
For your one degree of success, Benji. Outside or inside?
Well, I was going on the outside. I was trying to climb up the outside, wasn't I?
Okie dokie. Yeah, I know that's what you said. I'm just checking in. You run straight at it, moving to keep closer and closer and closer to the head. But as you begin to reach it, you peel off ever so slightly to the very side of the mouth, and, with a single running leap, swords out, impact. The blow knocks the breath from all 3 of your lungs. For a moment, perhaps 3, you can do nothing but cling on for dear life. And then your body forces itself back to life, combat drugs and adrenaline keeping you going. With an almighty surge of will, you begin to haul yourself, using your blades like ice picks, climbing around and around and up and up and up towards the top of this monster, determined to be the very first person here. Is that Quarreler at the top already, wearing Destroyer cadre insignia?
I'm not mad, because it's not the Primarch.
And finally,
In fact, I'm a little bit proud.
On 4 Doth, Macuiltotec. You feel confident, rushing as you are at the head of most of your command squad, that these people would follow you to the grave and back.
Now it's just me following me to my own grave.
Well,
I see how it is.
You're not looking behind you, and you have no Vox, so as far as you're aware, they are still with you. No one would ever abandon you. Surely, as you near closer and closer to the beast, hauling arse as fast as you can in your Terminator armor, surely the four of you can somehow make a difference. You see something flying in your peripheral vision, and note what appears to be Cozcatl, having split off and rushed up a building. Irritating, but destroyer cadre. There's a reason he's in the punishment company, presumably. The three of you will have to do. You all but reach the beast's side. Something else impacts it at just about the moment you do, much further down the line. You see a dreadclaw, and instinctively a part of you knows that dreadclaw didn't come from nowhere. There's more than likely, at the very least, Coatlmox on board.
You know, Simpsons meme where Sideshow Bob is getting hit by rakes and he's making that noise? That is this moment for me.
Convenient you should say that, because the moment's distraction and disappointment with your command squad failing to follow you into battle as they seemed so keen to mere moments ago is all it takes for you not to notice the colossal limb flying towards you. I don't think you can roll to dodge, can you?
Nope, I'm not allowed to dodge.
Should we call this a toughness test at -30?
Can I roll my force field, just in case?
Sure, we'll let you roll your force field.
Don't you roll the force field if you fail?
Does he? I think it's force field first, isn't it?
I think that would be if you fail the dodge.
It would be if you fail the dodge, you roll the force field.
Force field first, then toughness.
So,
Got you.
I think it's a PR of 35, right?
Something like that.
And do not make it. So force field winks out, and toughness at -30. Did you say?
Yep. Before any bonuses.
And I get do I get a toughness bonus from my
Terminator armor gives you +30.
No.
Yeah.
It gives you
will net it out at
plus
0.
20. Yeah.
+30. +20 is toughness
yeah,
checks
right, yeah.
in power armor.
The suicidal armor still give me a +10 on my toughness.
It does. This is about tensile strength, and though the machine spirit wants to
Wait.
Mic check, can you hear me?
Yep.
Were you guys I can hear you.
Test?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool, okay. Yeah. Yes, you do still get your toughness bonus there. This is about the tensile strength of the armor. Though the machine spirit wants to die, it cannot, outside of very specific conditions, and even then, probably not, physically weaken its structure to fuck with you. At least not this overtly.
So I'm just rolling at a -30 flat.
No, you get a +30 from Termi armor. So it's tough, net
you guys,
flat.
I can't hear you.
What is going on?
It's my computer.
Net toughness at net +0, basically, Ollie.
Okay, cool.
Unless
toughness.
you have other modifiers.
I do not, so 50 chance.
I believe in you, buddy.
Oh, 57.
Boy.
Dust.
I think we all know what that's going to be, Ollie.
Let me just take a sip of this 8% cider.
All right, I feel less bad about it now you flexed on me.
Good honey rested. I don't think you would approve.
Your armor shrieks out in joyous triumph as the kaiju's massive foot comes down on you. And more or less snaps you double. Would you like to burn a fate point?
I would like to burn a fate point. Do I also get to describe a little bit of what I'd like to happen next?
Okay, so with the condition that I think it snapped you double, knock yourself out.
I like to think it hasn't necessarily snapped me fully double. I am just completely pierced on the end of its foot. Maybe it picks up.
Okay, no, I can accept that as well. So you would prefer to be impaled on the end of a claw?
Yes.
I don't think we described the feat in great detail. Shall we say it is a large, sort of flat, wonky, oblong, three-toed thing? The toes aren't particularly even, and they don't necessarily end in claws so much as hardened blocks of chitin. Chitin? Chitin? Think like sort of mankier upturned version of a rhinoceros's horn.
I was thinking...
I would like to think that I put up just enough resistance, maybe a little tingle as my force field gave out, but it maybe wishes to inspect what it just stood on. And at that point, if it does so choose to do that, I'd like to unload my Reaper autocannon in its face. Or lack thereof.
I'm going to say I'm afraid that it's not stopping to examine you. I don't think it's even noticed you.
You know what that hurts? Yeah.
That said, I am perfectly okay with you still currently mid, I think your first falling to the skins frenzy moment, especially given that you burnt a fate, unloading your autocannon into it in fury as the thing has now impaled you underneath one of its mighty claws.
So actually then I want to use the Reaper autocannon to free myself from its claw. I suppose I want to shoot the claw off if possible, so I can...
That's going to be a bit of a thick boy claw. I guess it is a light anti-tank gun.
Yeah, and I like to think that, and then if it drops me, then I can just shoot into it, so I can then, I can try to shoot into it, so I can start tunneling at it from the inside, if possible.
What's in your other hand? Not your Reaper autocannon?
So, I can't remember if it was a standard that had the other guy's hand still attached to it, or if I had a chain fist. I can't remember.
I think we left the standard with Nazeem.
Yeah, I think I've got it.
Who still has it.
I think I might have a chain fist.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's perfectly standard, so I could see that.
Oh my god, sorry, but we have to try and plant the standard in its heart.
I was just thinking that.
This is for Hannibal, you bastard! Okay, so here's what I will say to you, Ollie.
Yes.
If you, so this thing has just taken you through the middle of its claw. Mm-hmm. Your clotting mechanisms are probably going to keep you from bleeding out within some parameters, but your legs are basically fucked at this point, at least for the moment. So, if you prise yourself off of it, it is going to be a little bit of a problem trying to get yourself into it.
I wish I was staying attached.
Yeah, you could, I think, from my point of view, and everyone else, please chime in here if you think this is unfair or if you have a different suggestion. I feel like your two options are to either A, stay attached on the claw, because what more can it do to you at this point? Bar, I guess, smash you into stuff, and the rest of you still wearing Terminator armor. Or B, prise yourself... try and prise yourself off of the claw and then hike up it, rather than just, come off it and risk the thing pacing away from you.
I've got another suggestion.
Shoot, please.
It's kind of a little bit similar to the other one. Loosen yourself a little bit, but hold on until it raises its leg with enough velocity to actually fling you, and try to get your trajectory to go up and come straight down on top of it.
What?
Have I ever told you I like the cut of your jib?
I
I've ever told you have no concept of how physics works.
I feel like I agree strongly with both of these statements.
Just an idea. I didn't say it's a good idea.
I would conceivably let you get it on a 1. He has just been... everyone's seen Serenity, right?
Oh.
Not for a long time.
Yeah.
So he has just been Serenitied, not through the top of the ribcage, but through, through the guts. He's not impaled on a spindly claw. It's more like where his intestines used to be is now monster claw.
I've got Carnifax siding talon. Just
yeah.
It's genuinely been about 7 years at this point since I burned to fate.
Yeah, that you've been very cautious since that one.
I have.
And if I'm being honest, I have to say, probably one of our better ways to burn to fate. Stomped on by Eel Godzilla.
You know what? I think I'm going to stay attached. And every time it raises up, I am just raking it with the autocannon.
You've got a lot. I mean, you've got an anti-tank gun and a decent amount of ammunition.
I love you're part of its foot at this point as well. Each time it does it, it steps on you.
You know what? It can't step on me any more than it's already stepped on me.
This is the exact opposite of no-steppy snekky. Okay. Oh, sorry. I need a moment. Suns. I need a moment to collect myself. What the fuck is Magnus doing right now?
It's like the Thousand Suns of Ical. I've seen all of our brothers just suddenly like turn around and just charge this giant beastie.
I'd also like to be outputting on all channels, on Vox, on Loudhailer. I am just constantly cursing out this giant demon mute. Just all the creative insults I can think of. Just broadcast loud and proud as I rake it.
I just want everyone to visualize this. This colossal insect shell city, ridden and racked with storms, filled with the dead and dying, space marines, civilians, local witches, a civilization ending all around you, and through it all this colossal, belly-crawling, eel-like monstrosity, half mudskipper, half fucking, what's his name from Stranger Things?
Sushi-monster?
Demigorgon?
Thank you. Half mudskipper, half demigorgon. The city dying, the evening presumably dying alongside it, a sunset of purest red. Oh, you're on a ribbon world. An eternal sunset of purest red, haloing the backdrop of a civilization ending. And as this monster crawls its way through the city, perhaps confused, perhaps hungry, perhaps scared, perhaps pissed off, its uneven number of feet rising and falling, crushing buildings, dragging its colossal, almost carcass through the rubble, speared atop one of these strange, uneven, spindly, yet innately powerful legs, is the swearing form of the legionmaster of the 2nd Legion, firing his autocannon as fast as he can and getting punched into rubble and buildings repeatedly whilst screaming obscenities at the Xenos that cost him the use of his legs.
I've also had a thought that at some point, if I'm realizing my damage isn't doing much, I am going to start aiming at its joints if possible on the other legs to try and slow it down, to give my battle brothers the chance they deserve.
You know what? I will take a ballistic skill check. I can't guarantee when it'll come in, but we'll see.
Oh, ballistic skill. Can I get?
Sorry. I was going to say on the difficulty, on the one hand, large target. On the other hand, you're under trying circumstances for lining up a shot. So no score draw +0 from my end, but I will listen if you want any bonuses argued.
I was just going to say the standard +10 from sight and heightened senses.
We don't give height. We don't give heightened senses on ballistic skill checks, as you well know.
But, I do have Mighty Shot. I do.
Mighty Shot is damage. You're looking for auto aimer. Your what's it called?
You're silent again, Ollie.
Yeah.
What the fuck is it called? The horse has got one. It's got a Cognis Signum. You've got a Cognis Signum.
Yep.
Cool.
Take that.
What it do?
Is it not?
Cognis Signum. It's +10. It's standard equipment in Deathwatch for Devastator Marines. So basically a special Auspex thing built in.
Well, a starting Signum is a transmitter array that can be mounted on the Battle Brothers armor. I get +5 bonus to ballistic skill tests. If I succeed on a tech use test after a full action, it increases to 10+. Oh, Astartes Signum Link or the Astartes Targeter? Because I get the if I have the Targeter, then I just get.
We'll just say Signum Link in the interest of brevity. So that would be ballistic skill at net +5 despite trying circumstances.
Yeah, so 70 or under.
Is it not good quality as well?
It's probably a good quality autocannon, sure. Oh no, you know what? I'm gonna say he beat a lot of shit to death with it so far, and it's been stomped through a decent amount of rubble. So it needs maintenance.
So 70 or under.
Net +5, yeah.
I'd make that 3 degrees of success. You think? Yeah.
Oh, so it is. So to addend the scene, this colossal behemoth crawling through the city with a tiny man stapled to one of its limbs, swearing and screaming, struggling and writhing, shooting wildly at its outer skin. Seems to realize, despite his frenzy, despite his anger, that this is not the most effective way to get vengeance. An arm goes wide. Swearing gets more furious. Sweat beads across a brow. Flooded with an unholy, frankly almost fatal amount of painkillers. As Macuiltotec starts spraying his shots at the nearest knee of the thing. On 3 degrees of... I don't get that one, if I'm honest.
How?
I guess if it's like 1800s, Carl? Ooh, an ankle. Saucy.
No, it's more the spraying stuff all over it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Right. I thought it was knee. I was like, are knees particularly erotic? I don't know.
No, but that also like ties into getting shot in the knee.
Fucking hell.
Like, there were multiple levels on that one.
I used to be a monster like you until I got...
I am not a religious person, but you'll need a priest.
It would be unsecular of us, and therefore Big E would say no.
Out of character. In character, you'll need a purging. So, yeah, so that's what Mackie's up to, as he starts chipping away at the monster's outer nearest knee, intent on causing pain, destruction, devastation, and most of all, fuck you! Meanwhile, on top of the Leviathan, Cozcatl, you've not actually been here that long, when, hiking up the side of it, comes Coayah, visibly pissed off, his eyeglasses in eternal angry mode, and behind him, the off-white forms of several members of the Death Guard.
I would like to remain clinging to whatever purchase I may have on this, and with my other hand, salute my superior officer.
Excellent work, Cozcatl. You're getting a promotion.
Like, big, full-on anime girl eyes with sparkles and everything.
For the very first time ever, the demi-circles that make up Cozcatl's eyeglasses expand to full circles.
Lower lip quivers a little bit inside the helmet. Sniffle a bit, I'm not crying.
Damn it, you are not a magical girl.
Until we play Princess the Hopeful.
No one has ever played Princess the Hopeful.
I am going to run Princess the Hopeful, and it's going to be excellent. Anywho.
But yeah, ultimately, I'm just waiting for orders at this point.
To the head, Cozcatl. We're going to dig in. We're going to stab it in the brain.
It doesn't really have a head.
It's got a mouth.
Yeah, it's got a mouth. It's not the same thing. Brain could be in its arsehole.
Could be. I'm just going to the most logical place first.
So I would like to provide this melt bomb.
Excellent work. In fact, you know what? Let's just start the digging here.
Like, eyes wide a little bit like, oh, okay. Can I try and stand up safely?
You know, it's probably not going at really much that much of a clip. Like, not slow, but not too fast. It's more the instability. You won't get blown off by, oh no, there's a storm still going on. So you probably, but may not, get blown off by the wind. But if there's...
Just to help him out, I'm going to toss him one of my swords. I'll stab the other one into the beast. It's like,
he's got a sword.
He's got a chain sword. Different.
Okay, you're going to toss him a paragon blade. I think, given the circumstances, that will require a roll to catch.
Or I could just hand it to him.
Yeah, if you're a coward.
Wow, just putting down the challenge.
I'm just hearing toss and stab, and I'm just like...
I think you're really missing the opportunity of tossing him a paragon blade and seeing if he misses catching it.
I don't want to lose a paragon blade.
Yep. Well, you know, you can be a chicken.
It's not worth succumbing to such childish taunts.
No, it's fine. God. If you wanna like admit that not only do you not believe in Carl, but you're a deep and fundamental coward, then you do you.
I think I would like to provide a counterpoint to this, and I think that Benji believes strongly in my roles because we know my roles.
Yeah. It's not that I don't believe in Carl. It's I believe too strongly in the random number god. And I know that random number god is a prick.
That's fine. Walk, walk.
But yeah, upon receiving the blade having been handed to me,
there's a very deliberate moment there where Coayah is clearly eyeing up, tossing it up to you, and then no, he's not confident that you'll catch it. Your heart breaks as you watch his surety in you break down. Instead, he spent the next 30 seconds excruciatingly hacking his way over to you, blood flowing and welling up from the beast. Blood that you notice, though a deep oxygenated red, seems to tint the air a strange, multicoloured hue. And gingerly hands you one of his paragon blades.
I receive it, I suppose, gratefully, but at the same time, okay. And I will just stab it down into the carapace. And then stab again. And again. And again.
I figured we were going to use the melter bomb.
Oh, yeah! Yeah, I mean, we will. I'm just getting something out here.
Just for my clarity... As Cozcatl works out a few personal issues. Just for my clarity, so I think we had Cozcatl close to the non-head, more or less over the mouth. So if you blow in here, isn't there a risk that you'll come down inside the mouth? For my reference, is that what you're trying... God damn it, young Nicholas. Is that what you are trying to do? Or shut the fuck up. Is that what you are trying to do, or are you trying to get inside of the body?
Inside of the body to try and look for a brain or something.
I'm going to
or something vital.
I'm going to serve a mute young Nicholas the next time I hear him giggle. Just so we're all clear.
I mean, you're the one talking about throats and going down them.
It's about the throat.
Sir, shortly back, there was an entry point from what appeared to be a dreadclaw.
He waves back, and you can see 200-300 meters along the still emerging from the ground colossal worm monstrosity. What appears to be a dreadclaw, haphazardly attached to the side, clearly speared in, but also sort of flapping in the wind. One of its claws, at the very least, has failed to puncture, and another one has been torn off, meaning that it's only dug in by 2 of the 4 available.
Good point. It would be foolish not to use this already existing weakness. Let's head over there.
Just like that, sir. The 2 of you and the party of Death Guard behind you, of which I think we have quite a few, begin spearing your way down the monstrosity's back towards the Dreadclaw. Meanwhile, having tumbled inside the creature some time ago... And if you can see the Dreadclaw, that means all of you can see Mackie clearly lost to the skin frenzy, wildly firing his autocannon. At the moment, still at the side of the beast, but he'll shift over on the way over to firing at one of the nearby joints.
Sounds like a him problem.
Very awkward eye contact made at one point between Coayah and Mackie. Mackie barely processing, Coayah internally rolling his eyes, then carrying on. Cozcatl deliberately avoiding contact. What was that, Nazeem?
I was hoping to choose a direction as we tunnel.
As the 2 of you.
I have an idea for that as well.
Yeah, we're probably thinking the same thing, I'm hoping.
As you tumble into the red-grey interior, a mess, a morass of gristle and meat, much of it disturbingly non-attached to the rest. The air tastes like fear and concern, and from within you can hear the laughter, again of children of the elderly, distant memories long suppressed, of a youth as an actual, real, human child that both of you have long since lost. What do?
I came here with an urge to kill this thing. I'm going to follow that. Creed, let me know if you're thinking the same thing. But if we can find an artery or a vein, find the way and basically follow the reverse of the flow to find the heart.
It's a disturbingly logical plan.
And it was exactly what I was thinking. Brilliant.
Yes, let's do this.
The two of you tumble through the nightmare gristle.
Can I? I'd like to channel the mind of heroes just to up my strength. So I'm just tearing through this with my chain fist with extra strength.
Tearing further and further in, looking for some open space from which you can locate an artery, or indeed hoping to stumble across an artery, perhaps even a vein. Some way of determining where the beast's heart is, and thus where it might most easily be stopped. The two of you advance through the meat of the thing for some time. Your mission clock, or whatever you have closest to that, says it's been less than a minute. But very quickly, it begins to feel longer and longer, like hours. For Nazeem, even days. Memories flash up from your mind. And...
Oh god, you have an actual map for inside!
Yes and no. As, out of nowhere, the two of you are back on Venus.
Oh lord!
I need the map to load in really properly.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not loading. It's the dream fall.
The trick is, do you remember the trick is to load in, to zoom out and zoom in, and that's how you fix it.
That didn't work. Oh no, that did work. It did work. Excellent. Thank you, Ollie.
There we go. Yes.
Back on Venus at landing zone Mirandus. Stormbird. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to shout to Nazeem, this time I'm sinking the planet.
No, you're not!
Stormbirds going down all around you. And yet this time, the roles are reversed. The Marines are defending. The 2nd Legion. The 4th Legion. The 6th Legion. Quarrelers. Space Wolves. And Iron Warriors. All of you. Fighting against a never-ending horde of these colossal, hulking, disgusting mutants, throwing themselves out of their strange, ungainly craft. Your guns thunder across the beaches, but for every one they tear up, 2 more seem to take its place. Where they meet your lines, they tear you limb from limb, cleaving you in two, screaming out foul cries to their disgusting corpse god. The defenders, noble though they are starting to pull back underneath the weight of these foul, off-world aliens. What do?
How enthralled are we? Like, we are here, or is it like we were just inside a giant fish thing?
You were.
Where we've just been dropped here.
You are, should we say, right in the centre of landing zone Mirandus there.
Okay.
In terms of enthrallment, so you are intellectually aware that you must, you hope, be somewhere inside the colossal monster you were just fighting.
Okay.
But in practice, as you try to tell yourself that this is just a vision, your helmet is clipped by a powerful shell. The pain sears across your face. Your vision swims, morphing between the interior of the monster and the battle you face here, and you feel your soul shriek with fire and pain.
Okay. So I have a few things. I have Forbidden Laws, Xenos, Psyker, and Warp. I have the recall for psychic power stuff. I have resistance psychic powers.
So I'm going to say right here and now, you've got enough laws to know that whether this is real or not, and reality is, to a degree, malleable. You are very well aware that this could still be a thoroughly deadly situation. Sorry?
Yes. I was going with the breaking of the illusion so that we can get through it.
Illusion is a strong term. That assumes this is some witch's hex cast over you. As your laws would tell you, that is not necessarily the case. Think of it less as a hex you need to get out of, and more a metaphor you may need to puzzle through.
Okay, cool. I like that. I can work with that.
Terrifying response, but okay.
Has my Blackstone been reacting?
You feel it boiling atop your crown.
I've got a headache.
Not quite sublimating, but like actively cooking the flesh of your skull.
There's not any flesh on my skull.
That is a very good point. Actively beginning to melt the flesh of your constructed skull.
Can I look for what would look like any supply lines? Things that are like the lifeblood of the enemy, things that they couldn't survive without. Find those and follow them back to their command center.
You are one of the most highly trained warriors here. You know that innately. But this is a landing zone atop a beach. They have no supply zones. All there is this eternal, unrelenting horde come to destroy you and everything you hold dear at any cost. All around you can see, and you perhaps hope that Coatlmox doesn't recognize them, members of the Psychologium, wielding their psychic powers in a desperate defense, openly amongst their brethren, doing their best to hold off the attackers with everything they have. All but the single youngest and most recent inductee, who's not here.
If I was an enemy, put a visage on my enemy trying to kill me, I'd invert the roles, as if they were defending the thing that I wanted to protect as well. Brother, this may sound extremely strange.
Do you want to sink the planet again?
No, we must destroy our own command base. Our own command point within this battle. This is not our battlefield. This is the beast's battlefield. It wants us defending it.
It's obviously some kind of trick, but do you think it's a puzzle with a solution like that?
The two of you have thrown yourselves into a trench dug atop the beach to carry on this conversation.
It is merely a beast. It is not. It is intelligent, but not. It can't be that intelligent. Surely.
If we're destroying our own command base, we may as well sink the whole platform, right?
You just want to sink the whole platform?
A bit, yes.
How about... Okay. If you sink the platform, the others may get to the heart first and kill it before we do. But you get to sink the platform. Or we go for the heart and we get to kill the big beast. Which one would you rather? I've already destroyed this planet once.
A lasbolt wicks across the air above you.
And I have a feeling that this damage isn't purely in our minds.
Are there any, vehicles around that can hold me?
Yeah, quite a few, actually. All of the vehicles seem thoroughly adapted to you, though far too small for the colossal, only almost human attackers coming at you.
How quick could this get me to the psycho holding up the platform?
You take a scan around, find a nearby Terminator-sized auto carriage. Probably relatively quickly.
We'll see who's quicker, brother. I'll just run for it and hop in.
So
Alright then.
leave the field.
I just go up to you, skins! And run for our command base.
What do you mean when you say command base?
I'm assuming there will be a command point where we have.
If you remember this, it was an orbit to this specific surface landing. So there is not like a command post that people are safely commanding from. There are colossal, mightiest of them all, huge, almost non-human alien monstrosities.
Oh, I thought you said we were defending, as in we were defending Venus this time rather than attacking it.
You are defending Venus. You are defending it with Space Marines. What's coming at you are 2-3 times the height of Space Marines wielding guns the size of large autocannons as though they were pistols.
My word.
Their swords look less like your chainswords and more like, essentially, the motorized tracks of a tank covered in razor-sharp edges.
Oh.
And they stride across the battlefield, as mentioned, 2 to 3 times your height. You can actually relatively easily identify the commanders. If nothing else, one of them is waving a single, massive flag.
I mean, for our command point, not theirs. So there must be like somewhere where we have home base, fall back to, so forth.
Right, for the Marine defense.
The Marines, yes. Because my thinking being that if it's going to give us a visage to attack and so forth, it doesn't want us going towards the thing it wants to protect. So it's going to make us protect that thing instead.
Okay, so you want to sabotage the side that the vision tells you you're on.
Yes, exactly.
And your disagreement with Coatlmox isn't whether or not you should sabotage that side. It's over how best to sabotage that side.
Yes, he wants to take down planet. I want to take down our command structure and like our commanders and so forth.
Okay, I'm following you.
Yes.
Right. I'm going to make some considerations. Meanwhile, in orbit, Kuzco, how's it going on your end? Aggressively sips recaf. Aggressively doesn't make eye contact with anyone.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I was, funnily enough, talking about the recaf, though. I was just commenting that, like, I mean, it was okay at first, but, like, they've really started to make it how I like it, you know? But other than that, I mean, like, cool. Like, I should probably get someone to help Left Hand. Pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, you know, not your problem. You've done your best, which is to say, Left Hand's done his best, and whose left hand is he the hand of?
Exactly. Like, I'm just doing all the things that a good manager should do, and that is delegate to the right people.
Which in this case are the left people.
Exactly. But at the same time, it's that sort of thing where it's just like, other than ignoring work, I really don't want to affect anything in any way. Like,
that's fair. You know, as mentioned, this is not Kuzco's first time being back on the ship, and thus technically in command. And I think we've had our fair share of, oh god, Kuzco has to make sudden decisions. Kuzco's developed his coping mechanisms.
We know what he's doing
at this point. Yes, he is probably abusing drugs. You are not wrong. At the same time, his vices so far have been trank-based rather than what's the 40k equivalent of cocaine?
Like, I mean,
Stim?
no, like, yeah, like
stim.
concentrated stim.
Yeah, so he's been abusing trank rather than stim. Okay, so that's Kuzco. And we all know where Mackie is. Gunshot.
Fuck you, you lizard bitch. And so on and so forth.
Meanwhile, hiking towards the dreadclaw, Coayah and Cozcatl. What's your plan, guys?
Get to the thing, see what's up with it, get in, Stab. Stab, stab, stab.
I do whatever he does.
With your Death Guard in tow.
That's a point, actually. I'm just kind of, like, as we're like ice picking or, like, whatever, just kind of get close and just be like, sir, and kind of gesture back at them and just be like, what's with the entourage?
Yeah, there's perhaps 20, 30 Death Guard behind you.
I mean, always useful to have.
I'm going to nod knowingly, expecting there is some kind of deep plan to utilize them as, like, expendable war currency.
You mean you've always, like, you've read my mind? What else are incels useful for?
He was like, good plan, sir.
Me here about to cite, like, oh, they're not all bad. Garrow's alright, but Garrow is the single most milady Space Marine in the entire fucking setting, so you're not. Oh, God.
Yep.
I just want to kill all of them.
I mean, being described as the most milady, like, I mean, that is telling, you know?
It's really bad. He's made up to be this big shot in the other books, and then the first book he has, you get inside his head, and it's really vapid and slightly shitty, and he's really weird about every woman he encounters. It's actually quite uncomfortable. I kind of want to read the rest of the Garrow books, mostly because they seem very plot relevant, but I also really don't like Garrow as a character so far. So, yeah. He's up against, like, the only two other big Death Guard characters they have in that book are Typhus, Typhon, and Grulgor, who are in many ways extremely analogous to Pinky and the Brain. And they were kind of more likable. So. Oh dear. The two of you hike on across the eel monster's back. Closer and closer to the little dreadclaw that could. As you approach, you hear it screeching. Not quite screeching, obviously, it's not alive. But still.
Oh, sorry, I thought the beast was screeching. I was like, is it not alive?
No,
seems pretty fucking alive to me.
The dreadclaw. Yeah, you may have noticed along the way, actually, now that you're thinking a little bit clearer, that the red, deep, crimson blood flowing out of the wounds as you ice pick your way over to the dreadclaw causes faint shimmers in the air, ripples and weaves of rainbow colours. Some of them almost non-colours, almost a thought that makes your head hurt. As you approach the dreadclaw, which you know logically and emotionally can't be hissing, and yet somehow it feels like a wounded deer trying to stave you off, till it realizes, and then, conspicuously, a hatch pops on it towards its top, allowing entrance to the interior.
Just to clarify, that particular dreadclaw was one of ours or one of the other legions?
One of yours. Only your dreadclaws were fired down. It was your dreadclaws with Thousand Suns, Telekine Psychers aboard, and the Death Guard have deployed, but they deployed via Stormhawk.
Okay. Thank you.
What do? Who's leading the way?
I'm going to unquestionably barrel through.
How does that little voice in the back of your head feel about that, Coayah, as Cozcatl barrels through, throwing himself into the gap atop the dreadclaw, and thence into the interior of the beast?
Sounds like a man with initiative. Sounds like a man who's getting a promotion.
Perhaps. You follow after him, evidently at least almost entirely content. The interior of the dreadclaw is sparking and very lightly on fire. It's not having a good time. Nevertheless, you're able to proceed through it with relative efficiency and into the guts of the monster. Like the other two, the both of you are transmitted to Venus.
As we're going on the way out, I just kind of want to pat the dreadclaw and say thanks.
Sure. Fellowship or perception check, please, Coayah, whichever's higher.
They're both the same.
No, for Coayah.
Oh, sorry.
I was about to say, could we maybe have a willpower roll to resist this effect?
Absolutely not, I'm afraid. This is not a willpower situation.
Seems like it would be, but okay.
It is not a psychic power that you can resist being cast at you.
Unlike every psychic power.
I mean, the personal vibe I've been getting from this is just like warp manifestation.
What I've been worried about.
Yeah,
maybe we're walking into the warp and not a worm.
I know that's out of character, like meta knowledge, but.
And on top of that, you can't resist every psychic power. You can resist many psychic powers, but not all of them.
You can
anyway.
Explicitly resist all psychic powers. Just some are so powerful that it doesn't matter.
You can't resist things like Doombolt. Kinetic psychic powers are just rolls to hit. They're not rolls to resist. You can roll to abjure them, but that is different.
You're wrong. Adamantium Will gives you the flat-out invul save. Has since 3rd edition.
It is not. Invulnerable saves do not exist in the tabletop. No, in the tabletop. Sorry, in the RPG. They do exist in the tabletop. Yeah, they do exist in the tabletop.
Waiting for that statement to just sink in.
Yeah, that one took a second. But they don't exist in the RPG. There is no distinction.
Okay.
Anywho, yes, as mentioned, this is not a psychic power that you can just resist. Regardless, I would take either a perception or a fellowship check for that one.
That is 5 degrees of success.
Was that perception or fellowship?
That's fellowship.
Yeah, you very thoroughly see Cozcatl make that decidedly unsecular moment of respect towards the dreadclaw. It's a machine? Imperial truth frowns on that a little bit.
I mean, apart from the fact that the priesthood of Mars is a state-sanctioned religion. But
they are, and that makes you very uncomfortable. It's super hypocritical. You should in no way imply that the Imperium is okay with the priesthood. Like, the Imperium's not okay with the priesthood of Mars being the priesthood of Mars in 40k, where, because they're too distinct from the Imperial cult, they're very not okay with it in 30k, but they kind of have to be. It is a marriage of political convenience and no small amount of trickery, not that the fact that they are naked priests who have a god, having been reconciled with uber-crusading atheism.
True, however, it was state-sanctioned by the Emperor himself, and we follow him in all things.
That doesn't mean it doesn't make you uncomfortable.
And I'm in, punishment company anyway. I
mean, yes, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm saying that it's still something that would be noted as Princeps get disciplined for this stuff. A Marine in punishment company absolutely is also on the candidate list there.
Can we just get on?
So, well, we've only got 2 minutes left anyway. The two of you likewise find yourselves atop the beach at Landing Zone Mirandus. This is obviously definitely a familiar zone for Coayah, a familiar place. I don't think it's a familiar place for Cozcatl. It does not strike me as though he's been with the Legion for this length of time. But Cozcatl, willing to hear it out if you have any preferences. Were you at Venus or not? I don't feel like that's Cozcatl's character, but I would be interested to hear your take.
I hadn't really had any thoughts about it. I figured he would be a newer member, yeah, but I...
Okay, well, we don't have to determine it right now then, but we'll say you weren't at Venus. And moving in behind the two of you, who perhaps was at Venus somehow, some way, Ollie, would you like a reinforcement character for next episode?
Yeah, sure. If I can't... Yeah, sorry, yes.
And for the Death Guard, we've been doing, I think, Albanian names, chiefly, due to a misunderstanding. So you are Roel.
Are you saying I can't just continually shoot this motherfucking insect in the leg?
You can if you want to, but I want to give you a character you can be engaged with. That said, that is 20 past, so that feels like a good spot to leave it for the week. And next week will be the Grand Spooky Bullshit Tour. So, do we have any reminders for that session? Anything anyone wants noted down?
I am currently stuck to an insect and shooting it madly.
I will think Wolf Venus.
They call it Venus, mate.
Venus.
It's actually named for the back of your elbow. Funnily enough.
Yeah.
Young Nicholas, you were saying anything?
I say, the beast's blood. What was the description of it again? It's like that weird thing to the air. I have this like image of like oil, but in the air.
Yeah, exactly so.
Just that. It's like, is the blood flammable? Question mark.
Anything else? I can think of at least one big one you're not missing, but...
I missed. Fuck. What is it?
We're all stuck inside the big eel.
I mean, for sure.
Father is AWOL still?
There we go.
I mean...
Wasn't he riding? He was riding the big
He
eel,
was.
wasn't he?
Last check, he was. Didn't see him on the way down.
Wait. Wait, oh no. Father knows how to do these things. If he's on top for a reason. He hasn't barreled through it, which means we've done the dumb mistake thing of going inside it when we should have been on top of it.
We'll be fine.
I mean, how so? We have to get inside to kill it, so, you know.
Well, that's an assumption. That's an assumption.
As opposed to standing outside and hitting its chitinous flank.
Well, who knows? Father probably knows things about giant kaiju that we don't. He grew up on a planet with them.
I think you both raised probably quite good points.
I mean, that's literally the equivalent of saying, I grew up on a farm with cows, therefore I know how to kill an elephant.
Oh no, it's different. None of us have ever seen an elephant in this situation, and it's a weird, psychic, weird, warpy, bullshittery thing. The context is slightly different.
Yeah, and it's also in a completely different medium to the kaiju he's normally used to hunting, because it's
He's
not
also a
in the water.
Primarch. He's very good at this stuff.
He's probably wandering around Venus as well.
Possibly.
And won't he just be confused? Any other notes for next session? Any other reminders?
Oh, remember the dreadclaw. I'm going to try and salvage it at the end of this if possible.
I'm quite fond of this machine spirit as well.
Fair. Anything else? Okay. In that case, feedback. Anything you liked, anything you disliked, anything you'd like to see more of or less of next time.
More kaiju. Like kaiju. Kaiju fun.
I have a distinct dislike of the kaiju. I want to see more of its limbs, though.
On the bright side, you're going to have one hell of a walking tour of the Hall of Memories when you take people to the fucking lopped off claw what impaled you. Any other feedback?
I appreciate that, like, it rarely happens, and like, that's part of why it's special and stuff. But, I mean, like, we don't often get those situations where it's just like, hey, get a fate. But, like, I mean, it's just nice to have these big sort of moments where it's just like, yeah, do shit cool, get stuff done, and get rewarded.
Oh, I'm glad. I mean, I think everyone was really weirdly focused in many ways this session. There was a decent amount of shitposting, but also a lot of it was like constructive or on-topic shitposting, which worked out quite well. And I think I was really happy with the tone and direction things went as well, personally. So it was lovely flicking out fate under those circumstances. Cool. I mean, thanks, guys. Any other feedback? No? Cool. Questions? Anything anyone was narratively unsure of? Was everyone following the plot?
I mean...
what was
Why did you decide to make the creepy incel right?
What, Mortarion?
Yeah.
He isn't. He
100% is.
Oh, what about the world?
Yeah. This is every time you run into Psykers now, you've got to check for these weird, creepy dragon insect things, because they're fucking abominations unto the universe and need to be destroyed with fire. Therefore, Mortarion is right.
Honestly, this is the same
Magnus can go all about, we should respect knowledge and all of this thing. It's like, this thing, you go near it, you start hearing crying children, starts talking about weird things, and starts taking you to strange places full of your memories. This thing is fucking evil and needs to be destroyed. If
we're going to be citing Black Library, this is more or less the argument he makes at Nikea directly.
No. The argument at Nikea is, I hate Psykers because I'm a weird, creepy incel. These things are fucking weird.
It is not. I've just listened to this, and he directly cites he's fought demons, and it's fucking bad. But the result he draws is, therefore, we should not. There should be no Psykers other than astropaths and navigators, who aren't Psykers. He takes an argument of Psykers are dangerous and draws it to an extremist conclusion, which is dumb. But his initial, he gives an example of a fucking compliance on what is transparently a primitive world / demon world. Where they have to fight a shit ton of demons, including straight up Hounds of Khorne. Very clearly referenced in the text, and probably bloodletters. Yeah, he's not wrong, but he isn't right, is how I would describe Mortarion. He's not wrong about the whole, Psykers are dangerous, and unrestrained Psyche use is bad. In fact, the Psyche use Magnus is advocating is bad. But he's not right, because his recommended solution is just also terrible. Mortarion's solution to Psykers is what if Age of Strife 2.0, but with some government-licensed exceptions, which I'm sure no one tried that the first time round.
Yeah, and the solution proposed is a ban on all sorcery and unlicensed psychic activity.
Yeah, he do be done.
Yeah, as well as apparently again, trying to quote Nikea as Mortarion is wrong is really kind of dumb, because Biggie also puts on the retarded pants at that place. Everyone's retarded. But everyone is mentally deficient at Nikea.
I mean, I think he makes a political decision assuming that his children are going to act as big boys, not realizing that what is not a massive deal to him is actually a huge deal to most of them. It's another example of he doesn't seem to understand people's perspectives other than his own, especially when he doesn't have Malcador advocating on his behalf, and Malcador is eternally convinced that he can handle any problem, when realistically he's just well equipped to handle any problem. Doesn't mean he actually can.
Yeah, and we've run into a situation whereby we have literally no defense against this thing, as you've said, because apparently adamantium will is not a thing. So there's no defense against this thing, therefore the overarching Imperial response should be kill everything that's like this with extreme prejudice.
I feel you are drawing a lot of very extreme conclusions here.
Am I?
I think the thing is, everything is up for interpretation in terms of Black Library and all lore, technically. It's a big, spooky, clearly warpy thing. Rules can't always apply to it. We don't know what's going on with it. We don't know if it's warp. We don't know if it's a psychic power. It's just a thing, so you can't apply all the rules as written in the books to it. It's a cool situation. I like it. I think it's really cool.
But it's made Mortarion right. Because, again, what can the Imperium do against this thing outside of very specific characters like Magnus or another Primarch who we can shrug off its effect? Everything else, everyone else, we're Space Marines. We're supposed to be our ability to resist the temptations and the evils of the Xenos and the unknown is supposed to be high. and we can't do anything against it. Therefore, we are going to default to kill everything like this with extreme prejudice because we can't stop it doing this. Therefore, it's gonna worm its way into normal humans' heads quite easily. Therefore, the default response when dealing with something like this is, we found an infestation of things that can project stuff into your mind. Kill it with extreme prejudice.
I'm very sorry, but I don't follow your logic of you tunneled into a massive spoopy kaiju, and therefore, because that has had an overwhelming effect on you, you must kill, for instance, young Nicholas amongst the legions, because that, I feel I
didn't say kill young Nicholas amongst the legions. My point is, we have come to this world that is full of psychers, and then we have run into these monsters that project thoughts into your brain and try and convince you with weird children's voices to do stuff. Then we ran into a gigantic version of it that, trying to get inside it and stop it or kill it, suddenly it's now broadcasting us to this incredibly vivid thing. One of which I would point out as Coayah has just experienced in the warp.
Have you tried getting stabbed by its claw? You don't get transported to Venus when you do that.
No, I haven't.
You should try it. It's pretty good.
My point is more like the assumption here has to be that the Space Marines are designed to reunify humanity following the Age of Strife. They are designed to destroy things that are dangerous to humanity. This thing screams dangerous to humanity.
So you're going to destroy it, presumably, yeah.
That is why.
But equally, this is why when I say Mortarion is right, you have made Mortarion right, because his position, especially on a lot of things to do with the warp, is you always kill it. There is no negotiation. There's no, maybe let's not think about it. It's no, always kill, always destroy.
So in the situation,
Magnus,
it's true.
Magnus's point is, in many cases we should stop and think about this and really take and consider view, because then we can take the knowledge and learn about these things. And Mortarion's is, no, kill it with fire. Kill it with fire every single time. Don't think about it.
I mean,
and this is just showing him to be right.
I don't follow your logic still, if I'm honest, but I guess we can call pace on it.
Yeah, let's call pace. It's been like 7 minutes.
So, that's reminders. That's campaign notes. Where's XP? There's XP. Plot progression. Does anyone feel like you made significant plot progression this session?
Not especially.
I lost
we did.
We climbed up a big dragon and got inside.
I mean, we reunited, right?
We found Father, we lost Father, we reunited, and it feels like we now have a big old thing to go after. So there's definitely stuff happening.
The plot was to try and bring about the compliance of the world.
No, that was the objective. The plot of the story is now Big Monster here, we're going to kill Big Monster. That's plot progression. This is a story, not a campaign.
Moving towards the conclusion of the progression.
I really hate that I
follow his
as logic.
Well, but
oh dear.
We are playing an RPG here. We are RPG.
And anything else?
We found Father, lost Father.
Yep, got that down.
Okay. What else? I think Cread said we were reunited.
Yep, I've counted that under the same thing.
Okay, cool. That was roughly. Back on Venus, does that count? Or does that count?
I was going to say, circumstances.
Inside? Yeah.
I don't think that counts unless you can tell me how that's plot progression.
Yeah.
Fair. Character development. Does anyone feel like they developed their character this session?
Can I put forward Cozcatl? Because I know that we can't usually do like NPC or like replacement characters. I
think he's been enough of a long-running thing this time that we'll let you do Cozcatl stuff. It also felt like he had some growth, so
I lost a fate point.
That's not strictly speaking growth.
If you'd said Mackie falls to the skin lust.
Mackie falls to the skin lust, but also the first time in 7 years I lost a fate point. Maybe 8.
Carl, what was your thing?
Oh, I mean, like, ultimately, just Cozcatl having enough experience now to, like, be considered, okay, I'm knocking stuff away from my desk, as a character worthy of growth. Like, I mean, the rollercoaster of emotions, ultimately, is the main.
Cozcatl has gone from 2-dimensional reinforcement cutouts to mildly 3-dimensional character with some complexity.
Yeah.
Anything else? Yep, cool. Excellent roleplay. Does anyone feel like anyone else roleplayed particularly well this session?
Very much like Ollie's, what's the word, consistent skin lust.
Yeah, I liked his rage movement. Shouting up.
Fair. Anything else?
I liked us all rallying to go to the beast immediately. I don't know if it was in the roleplay.
The collective
all came together. Yeah.
No, I liked it.
The collective skin lust for the beast was great.
The challenge.
It was a rousing.
Down with the smallest arms, brother.
I do like how Nazeem's reaction now to absolutely deadly events is just, okay, here we go again.
Anything else?
The cup of coffee on the bridge to the starship being like, I orbitally bombard this point where my brothers in arms are?
That's a point, actually. Chris did ask what, like, a lot of the cut-off message was.
Oh, yeah.
Funny you should mention that.
What was the message, Carl?
Mostly how I was considering bombarding it if I didn't get any word back from you after a certain amount of time. I can't remember what I was saying.
Oh, dear Lord. That sounds important.
Well, there are different messages to I thought, aren't we?
I make that out in that case to be 170 experience points for session number 48. That's 20 points of plot progression, reuniting with father and the party, plus finding a clear target. 20 points character development. That's Mackie falls to the skin lust, Cozcatl, and Cozcatl has become a character. 30 points excellence of roleplay. That's Mackie's consistent skin lust / rage moments. Everyone rallies to face the kaiju, and recaf indicates Kuzco's mood, plus your standard 100 general.
How much is that in test again?
170.
170.
Which brings us on to everyone's favourite part of the session. It's the highlights. Carl, do you have any highlights for that session?
I do. Said ever so bluntly, I have no skin on my skull. Or was it flesh?
It was flesh.
Flesh. That was the first. Wait, who's that?
That was Cread.
What?
Cread said it.
No. As in the moment of when Benji got to beat the Primarch, and he's like, "But wait, who's that up there in destroyer armor?"
God, fucking! How do I write that down? Okay. Anything else?
Cozcatl's emotional roller coaster.
Mood. Anything else?
I'm just calling it warp manifestation because I got Venus again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Venus again. That worked, but that's it. Thanks.
Cool. Cread, do you have any highlights for that session?
Yes. Cozcatl raises his hand politely.
I knew what was going to happen the second he did it. Y'all have been stiffing NPCs who raise their hand since session 6, I think. Anything else?
Is it rhythmic?
God damn it. Anything else?
Oh look, our legionmaster is in a blood rage too. I can find a way to make that more concise.
Legion blaster.
Anything else?
Everyone decides to charge Leviathan. Well, I guess that's also changing the next one. It's just wacky races.
Catch the pigeon, catch the pigeon, catch the pigeon. Anything else?
Which is an entirely separate show.
They both had Dick Dastardly, therefore they're both the same show.
Last one was Cozcatl get some recognition. And old boy looks up and goes, "You're getting a promotion."
Cozcatl for legionmaster. Coayah's puppet candidate.
It's that Dobby moment.
Master has given Dobby a promotion.
With the sword and everything.
Anything else?
Oh, that was it from me.
Cool. Benji, do you have any highlights for that session?
I've been quite spaced out today, so I haven't really kept anything down.
Fair. Young Nicholas, do you have any highlights for that session?
Yes. It's not as big as a planet.
Damn it.
Both our commanders are in skins mode.
You mean both your commanders? I'm the commander. Primarch is the Primarch. Do the same thing.
Both of you are in skins mode. Sushi-monster.
God damn it. It was what? I said it once. Now I can't cut it out either, you son of a...
Thank you, Nick.
Fucking
You're welcome.
asshole. Anything else?
I'm killing the planet this time.
What was that?
That was at the end.
No, that was Creed's reaction to getting on Venus again. It's like, I'm killing it this time!
And I will.
Anything else?
I've been fully corrupted by Carl now.
Fully corrupted by a Kyle?
By Carl.
Oh, by Carl.
The thirst is all.
God damn it.
Thirsty giggles. Actually, that's another one. Thirsty giggles.
The thirst must flow.
You're playing asexual characters, goddammit.
Sorry, some Space Marines are asexual. Someone must fill the Space Wolves niche.
True, goddamn Lucas the Trickster. Please, no, I don't want you to be the only Marines with a sex drive out there.
Look, canonically, there are some Space Marines who fuck.
I know.
That niche must be filled.
I really do. If nothing else, it makes Nathaniel Garrow's weird miladiary significantly creepier. Anything else?
No, that's it.
I'm just thinking back to... I was hoping for so much more. Ollie, do you have any highlights for that session?
The only one I can remember writing down was something along the lines... my computer crashed, unfortunately. I've lost it. Something along the lines of... I've been stepped on, but there's only so much I can be stepped on. But I can't be more stepped on, something like that, I think.
Right, I'm just going to put there's only so much I can be stepped on. Anything else?
That conservative with the snake flag, don't step on me, don't tread on me. Except I got trod on real hard.
Ultimate no-steppy snekky.
Exactly.
That's not what they're like. The conservatives say don't tread on me, when secretly in their heart they go harder, daddy government, harder.
I mean, yeah. Some people say don't step on me, daddy evil kaiju.
I'm just happy I wasn't the only one thinking in that direction.
Really hope you said reaction. Anything else, Ollie?
No, he said direction.
Oh, that works too.
Oh,
You just let it slip.
I heard something else as well. Don't worry, Ewan. I heard it.
Thank you.
That's just because you have dirty minds, just
the rest
like
of us
mine.
heard it and knew what he
dirty
meant.
minds.
Because it came from Carl as well. You think, like, no, it could have been.
It really disturbs me that Carl's thirst has this level of control over my brain's autocorrect. Spinning on. Any other highlights, Ollie?
It's been covered.
Okay. I likewise.
No. I do have one more. Cole's control over the autocorrect in my brain.
Damn it. I'm gonna cut it out regardless. Fuck! I can't.
He has the same effect in mine. I heard it as well.
Censor it with beep so it sounds so much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then half of Carl's contributions would just be beep 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 beep.
It would be deeply funny if I just removed large sections of Carl's dialogue, replaced it with beeps, and all you heard was us objecting to it or groaning at it.
Yes, robot.
Yes, robot Carl of the lake. What do your beep eyes say? I don't even know.
They're taking the party to horny jail.
Oh God. The worst remix. Fuck! I had a thing. What was my thing? No, it's got. Oh no! I know the little dreadclaw that could. I know. I probably should have made you all roll to find one, but it was just such a fun idea. What if we fired a boarding pod at the eel monster?
It was a brilliant idea. Well done, Cread.
I'm actually pretty happy that I didn't end up shooting my way inside of it, because it sounds like that's now going to be a bad time.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah,
this
it's only Venus
I
again.
get to sink the planet.
If Nick
sure
does
that will
actually
go.
kill Venus...
We'll just wait last until we can throw the illusion off, and then we'll just stab it.
Yeah, what best to throw the illusion off than throw Venus into the air?
I like the idea of Nick throwing the illusion Venus back onto the space station back down to illusion Venus, and that somehow kills the monster by giving it a massive heart attack or something, assuming it has a heart.
What?
It's got blood, so it's a pretty good guess. It's got a heart.
I was like, what?
So, in that case, brings us to the end. Thank you all for a very entertaining session number 48. Does anyone have any final words for the recording?
Canonically, Space Marines fuck.
Sushi-monsters.
You're lucky I owe you one for clearly not giving you a great session, Benji. I'm going to keep it, but I'm very mad at you.